Well,
Sometimes it's like people's expectations kind of exceed the reality.
like big time.
You said you'd be able to put me in a car. I'm like, well, there are some conditions. Okay, so we should be. Oh gosh, look who we got up in the chat. Look who we got in the chat.
Let me get over here real quick.
Look who it is. We got the queen in the house. We got D Sassy.
What's
Those
good?
big eyes. What's up? What's up? Welcome on in, ladies. Got Pandaverse. What's going on, Pandaverse? Thank you so much for being here. Sorry we're late. Reality, work. Gotta make
Big
money.
time.
If we don't make money, we can't pay the internet bill, right?
Right. And moolah, baby.
Right. And if ain't no internet, then there's no streams.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about this. Well, thank you so much for being here. And we're excited to see you come back as well, Queen. Queen Char will be back on Twitch Monday. Talking about, I don't know, maybe. Hell, maybe. Maybe.
Right.
Get out of here with that. Just do it. No, real talk. It's I can, take it from me. Somebody who has taken breaks from streaming, it's not that easy to just boot up, go live. It's not easy at all. It's actually a little nerve-wracking. I could talk a little bit more about that as time goes on with, with me and Twitch or whatever. But now, how did you feel when you took your break? I think it was about a couple of months ago. You took I want to say about a month off, right?
Oh, you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
You.
Yeah. My break was actually pretty doggone good. Like, really good. I got a lot of stuff done. Personal wise and streaming wise, I got a lot of stuff done. I just kind of relaxed. I didn't put too much on myself. Because working 10, 11 hours a day and then having to come home to do streaming stuff, it definitely takes a toll on you. So
Yes, it
I was
does.
glad. I was glad that I took that break.
That's what's up. Nambro, this looks great. Hey, appreciate you for being here, my man. There's Carlos. Who else would he be talking?
guys?
Who else would he be talking to? So it is like a breath of fresh air to see, the family come through. Like real talk. Like we have been
Yeah.
talking about this for quite some time. This actually is not the first time that we talked about collaborating, doing something together. But let's just say that this is the first time that we've actually took the initiative of putting one foot after the next. Because y'all know how it is. Has anybody out there ever just, you wanted to do something and the intentions were there, but it just didn't happen? I mean, I tend to deal with that a little bit. Some people don't wrestle with that. That's just something that I wrestle with. And for those of you who are here right now, we just want to thank you for supporting this right here, because you're so used to seeing Bearded here on Twitch, and you're so used to seeing me on Twitch. And truth be told, this is new for me because I'm so used to actually running a podcast by myself. So please feel free in the chat to tell me to shut up and let him talk. You know what I'm saying? Because this is two bearded guys, not me, but it's us.
I'm gonna have to say beard and a half, man, because you shaved.
Okay,
Beard and a half.
I knew it. I knew this was coming. And it did not dawn on me until I thought about the podcast. I was like, oh my gosh, somebody's going to say something. Somebody's going to say something like, where's his beard? Look, don't judge. A beard is a beard. You got hair on your face. I still got facial hair. It don't look like it did, but I can explain. I'm doing something a little different for 2023.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I look younger. And Crafty,
Okay.
she likes this, right? Crafty, you
I,
better
I
back
knew that
me
was the
up. I
main
know you in the
reason.
chat. Back me
I
up.
knew that was the main reason. I knew it. I knew
Yeah, that is the reason. So
it.
Crafty, she loves this look right here. So, and for me, it's a little. You got your beard's thick, so it's hard to manage. Now, ladies, y'all got long hair out there. You got to deal with hair. You know, my beard gets dry. It's cold outside. You know, I got to shampoo. I got to condition. I got to do all that stuff. And I get sick and tired of that. So every so often, I'll chop it off and we'll regrow it again. Long as Crafty's okay with that because she is like, she won't ever like keep it real. Like, I was like, do you
She'll
want
just
me to?
let you do
Yeah, she's like, do you want me to? I said, do you want me to cut my beard? She's like,
it.
just do what you want, bro. I cut my beard, right? I trimmed it down. She did this. She came in the house. She was like, yeah. She gave me that look. I was like,
Uh-oh.
mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
I was like, yeah. I said, I did the right thing. I did the right
Uh-huh.
thing. But I do miss my thick, mountainish beard. I miss
Yeah,
it.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I want it
Hey,
back.
Nicoya, what's good?
I want it back. Cammy, what's going on? Nicoya, good to see you, brother. Legends can bridge the gap. Yes, we can. Probably will still be a couple of days for me to be fully back, Carlos. What's going on? What you got going on over that way? What you got going on?
Damn, what's up?
Making you look younger than me. If I shave the whole beard, I'm gonna look. They're gonna start IDing me. Like seriously, they'll start IDing me at that
baby
point.
face.
The baby face, man. Like I'm grateful for it. So that means that whenever I turn 50, which is a long time from now, hopefully I'll look about 35. You know, they say black don't crack, right?
Look, especially with me, everybody think I'm like 25, 26. And I'm like, no, fam, I'm 36. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Get it from my mama.
The age. I'm talking about age for a second. So, you know, people make this big deal about age, right? Like, oh, I'm getting up there. Oh, starting to see a little white in the hair. I'm like, you're only as old as you feel, in my opinion. You know, I know
I agree.
people who are like in their 40s and they literally look better than people in their 20s. Like the skin is nice. They have this real mature look about them that you just can't get in your 20s. Like I looked at some old pictures of myself in my 20s, and I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I feel like I look better now at 37 than I did at 27. Seriously.
Oh yeah. It was the other day I was going through my Facebook pictures and I saw some pictures from college where I didn't have this beard. I still had hair on my head. Um and then I went back all the way to high school and I was like, man, I have changed a lot. But I still like the beard, I still look like I'm young, like a kid. Because nowadays, you see these kids, like these football kids, 14, 15 years old, they got a whole goatee and
Oh gosh.
look like 20-year-olds. I'm like, what college do you play for?
I think the question is what are they eating?
That too. There
It's
got to be
it's it's
some some fertilizer or something. They eating some Popeye spinach.
I remember I was in the 5th grade and I forgot how old I was. I was in the 5th grade and I saw the first girl who was developed pretty much.
Mhm.
And you know, we didn't know what was going on. We just knew that she looked different than the other girls in the classroom. So, I mean, of course, it didn't dawn on me, you know, when she's maturing, going through puberty and stuff. But now I look at kids like they're in middle school and they look like they're almost grown.
Mm-hmm.
And in high school, like my son, he's a sophomore. I look at these kids, man, look, mustaches, chin straps, beards, the little girls out there, they got lashes and extensions and nails. I'm like, you got man, like y'all just growing up so freaking fast. Like, I don't know, man. It kind of concerns me a little bit because I feel like people are they're so in a rush to
Mm-hmm.
grow up. And I just want to tell them like, let's slow down, man. You don't want none of this.
Yeah.
You don't want none of you don't want to be in the you want to be grown, but you don't want to be because I wasn't warned.
Right. Right. You can once you pay for that subscription, you cannot cancel it.
That's it, man. Like no cancellation. You locked in, and that's just what it is. There's nothing we can do about that. Um, at the end of the day, so folks, I'll just go ahead and let everybody know what's up. Um, we want to go ahead and explain to everybody out there as far as why we're here right now. I'm a Twitch streamer. I make content on YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel as well, D Muscle TV, which I do upload content sometimes, not all the time. It's to be honest with everybody, it's not really my focus right now. It's just not. And I'm gonna open up a little bit more about that tonight as time goes on. But I'm gonna let you go ahead and let everybody know because to be honest, it was your idea. So your idea is now a reality. So let's break it on down to him.
First off, Carlos, I see your question. Who came up with the name? And please tell me the two was intentional. uh, who came up? Actually, neither one of us came up with the name.
Right.
I believe it was. Oh, you did. That's right. Yeah.
No, you know who came up with it.
It was Crafty, right?
Both her and
Yep.
Aqua too.
Crafty, yep. Crafty and the fiance and
Yeah.
my fiance. They came up with the names.
Yeah, so we didn't pick it.
Yeah. So yeah, but the two was intentional. D actually did the twos like that. So pretty cool graphic. But the way that this idea came about, me and D here and Bear Project and Flash, we have this group chat. We've been close ever since we met each other on Twitch, and we've always talked about doing podcasts together. So some of y'all may remember that we did the podcast, the Roundtable podcast, last year together, and we had a great time. Yep, and we had a good time with it. And I don't know what it was. We always talk about current events and like life and mental health and stuff like that. Things that we see on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, just different topics. And so we'll all talk about it. So I was like, you know what? Why don't we just do a podcast so we can talk to others about this instead of just keeping it to ourselves? So that's where I came up with the idea. Me and D were going back and forth about it. Eventually, we're going to get the other two guys involved whenever they get ready, because everybody's been asking us to do another roundtable. And so, yeah, that's pretty much how the podcast came about.
Yeah, it's like he said. We talk about some of everything. We have a very very transparent friendship between the four of us, and I've said it numerous times. I'm like, I think that there are people who can actually benefit from some of the things that we talk about. Like, I'm of the firm belief that knowledge is useless unless you share it. I'm not a gatekeeper. We're not gatekeepers. And it's so rare to find other males, we'll say, who are not in competition with each other, who take care of their business, who can agree. And even if we don't see eye to eye, we can just kind of, hash it out and then, be done with it and then just move on. So to me, this is an opportunity for all of us, well, just me and you for right now, because I really do want Flash and Bear to be a part of this as well. But,
Right.
As it stands, you get us, and we definitely are not going to disappoint. We're all at different stages of our life, and the only thing I wish we had done is I wish we had did this a little bit sooner, but
Hmm.
maybe it just wasn't time.
Right.
Intentions can be pure, but life can say different.
Yep.
Last year was a very busy year for me, very hectic. Um, Ups and downs, hills and valleys. Not much I wouldn't change, but I don't think I had it in me to add something else to my schedule, because streaming itself is really difficult, and at least to me it is. Not to you.
Thanks.
You are like Mr. Consistent, and I've always told you that. And I've told you numerous times that I admire that about you too. That motivates me to want to try to be consistent despite having so many different things on my plate. Being a husband, dad, work, um, a lot of activities outside of the household. It's hard to
Yeah.
to pin down this right here. At least for me, there are some people who can do it, and my hat goes off to them. But we all process things differently. But I was talking to one of my clients this morning, and I told her, I said, I'm taking the page out of your book, a word out of your book, and that word is intentional. So there are things that I've started doing this year, and I'm being intentional about it. And the way I'm doing it is by telling other people so that they can hold me accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like with this right here,
Hmm.
like we talk about
Yeah.
this all
Yeah.
the time. I'm like, we're going to do it. We set a date, and bam, here we are. And
Yep.
we need, and all of you in the chat, if it's something that you want to do and you wrestle with it or you procrastinate, tell somebody that you trust. Tell somebody that you care about, that cares
Hmm.
about you and your success. Let them in because it helps. It really does. Guru, good to see you both. It's so good to see you as well.
Hey, bud.
Absolutely. It's so good to see you. Carlos says it's cool in case anyone isn't aware of it because YouTube orders the subscriptions alphanumerically. So when people check out their sub page, they will see that the channel at the top. Yeah, I don't know much about the whole streaming thing on YouTube.
Hmm.
We're so used to Twitch, but this is not Twitch. This
Yeah.
is a
It's a
completely
whole nother
different.
ball game.
It's a whole yeah, and I can't wait to learn it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because for me, I've done YouTube in the past. I still do YouTube. I got other channels that people don't know about, and that I'll open up about too, as
Hmm.
time goes on, because I've been a content creator long before any of you knew me. And same with you. You've been a content creator long before any of us knew you. So, there might be some people here, who don't know who we are or the origins. That's why I titled the title here for this podcast, Origins. So, bearded brother, why don't you break it down and tell us about the legend?
Well, I wouldn't consider myself a legend, but no, I'm just kidding. um, I guess I'll give you guys my government name. My government name is Thad. Um, Born and raised in Mississippi. 36 years old. Um,
Youngin.
yeah, getting up there. Um, so a little bit about me. Was born and raised in the church with my parents. So my spirituality, my beliefs are strong. I think, and I think everybody can
Mhm.
agree that things that happen in life don't happen by accident. I feel like God has a very big part of what happens in your life, and that's how I feel to this day. Just the way that things have been going in my life lately. For everybody that don't know, I am recently newly engaged to a wonderful, wonderful person who you probably will get to see at some point on
Oh,
stream.
oh yeah.
Um, um, what else? I'm a car salesman. If anybody is looking for a car,
You slanging
there you
them
go.
vehicles right there. Sold a couple a
Just
day.
left and right. Yes, that's why we were kind of late because I ended up staying late because I was selling 2 cars. So that's always a blessing. But as far as me personally, my personality, happy, bubbly, patient in some instances. um, just outgoing. I love meeting new people. And just kind of building a friendship, building a relationship that will last a long time, as you can see with me and D here, and of course Flash and Bear and some of you guys in the chat. Me and Panda kind of grew up together in the church, so me and her and I we knew each other all our lives. So, um, what else about me? Hmm, hmm. That's pretty much it. I'm kind of boring.
No, that ain't boring. That's original. Yeah, that's the whole point. You
Yeah.
know. My
Oh,
my.
I do like long walks on the beach.
Long walks on the beach, but he's taken now. He's taken. Remember now. Gotta remember that. I- Um, I made the comment to him earlier that I didn't want this to feel like what any of you are used to on Twitch. Like if you're gonna come here, you're gonna get this, like this type of content. You're gonna get two bearded guys. If you go to Twitch, you're gonna get Beard Legend Gaming. You're gonna get D Muscle TV at some point. It's been over a month since I've been live. People have not let me forget that. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that later. So for those of you who don't know me, D Muscle TV, people in IRL call me D. That's with 2 E's. Mom calls me Derek. That is what the D stands for. You know the secret. So I'm trusting you all to keep your mouth shut. All right. Literally, nobody calls me that except for mom, grandparents, and people who don't know me by, D or D muscle or whatnot. Um, I'm a year older than this cat right here, 37. Just turned 37 in November. Don't feel it except for in my knees, especially, bro. My back too. Yeah, knees and my back. Yeah, they feel like they're about
Look,
60. But everything else, hey, I'm fully functioning. I'm fine. You know.
look, I'm still sore from Wednesday playing Creed. I am still sore. Back tight, shoulders hurting, and I stretched and everything. I'm like, man, okay, it's gonna be a minute before I play this game again.
Worked you out, didn't it?
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Uh-huh. Worked you out. Carlos, you said I've known what the secret was for a while. Carlos be digging. You
Yeah.
be Googling. I bet you didn't Google us and everything, didn't you, bro? It's
Got us
okay.
on espionage.
I like it though. I got nothing to hide. It's all good. But
What else?
but 37 years old, reside down at the bottom of the map here in Florida. I don't stay in Miami or Orlando, so when you think Florida, you think of nude beaches and BBLs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, not that part of Florida. My part of Florida, I stay in a city. I stay in a retirement city, actually. That is basically known for the Blue Angels and
Mm-hmm.
our Navy, the Naval Aviation Base. So a lot of people from all over the country come here for basic training, and some people are just stationed here in general. It's okay here. It's the type of place where if you know people, you'll be all right. But if you don't know people, it may be real boring, depending on where you're from. If you're like from New York or something like that, and you're just used to that fast life, then this place ain't for you. I've contemplated many times of relocating my family. I've wanted to move to Colorado. I've wanted to move to Chicago. That was actually going to be a reality at one point, Chicago. I was going to go for work, but the cost of living is just really way too high up there, especially if you want to live in like
Oh my god.
a nice part of
Yeah.
Chicago. Chicago is, it's known for some stuff, but that's not all of Chicago. It is, but
Right.
um, I've since then decided to stay and just get rooted in the community and just take care of things in the community in which I can do here because I got I got a strong passion for helping people, and the community around here definitely needs that in a lot of different ways. Um, Much like Bearded here or Thad, as I'll say. I don't know if are we gonna use government names or what. We're gonna say Thad and
It don't
D.
matter.
Thad and D. It doesn't matter. Much like Thad here, I am strongly rooted in the Christian faith as well. I've been a Christian for about 11 years now. About 11 years. Yeah, I came to glory in 2012, and that was when my life changed completely. Crafty here is probably the only person, I'm sure the only person here who can testify that my life prior to 2012 was it was really a mess, to be honest with you. Stuff I don't mind talking about at some point. We don't want to like just spill all the beans and all the goods on one episode. But just know that, who I was then is not who I am now. And the phrase, what is it? It's in the book of John. It says, you must be born again. I literally feel like I've been born again, and that person is like no longer
water and spirit
here. Absolutely. Real active in my local church. Actually, all of us, me and my wife and my oldest son too. We go to a really, really awesome non-denominational church, which is more like a family to me. And I'm extremely excited to go on Sunday. When I was growing up, I used to try to do everything to get out of going to church. Like I didn't want to go at all. I'm like, oh, I'm tired, or I just don't feel like going. Now we get up early and we're ready to go. We're ready to get fed and to go in through the week, nice and strong spiritually. But I'm not a overly religious person. Those of you who have been watching me for quite some time probably have never even gotten that vibe before, because that's just not who I am. I don't go pushing my beliefs on people or trying to convert people. I just walk it out. You know what I'm saying? I just walk it out.
Yep.
I just lead by example. I live a life of integrity, honesty. I try to help whoever I can when I can, if it's within my means and if it's not taking too much away from me, because I feel like purpose in life, our purpose, all of us, has something to do with serving and helping other people at some magnitude. So that's basically my life in a nutshell. A lot of you probably know I'm a personal trainer. I've been in that profession for about 13 years. I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people from ages 7 to over 75 years old. Paraplegics, police officers, fire chiefs, nurses, doctors, military personnel, all you name it. I've worked with a whole lot of different people, and the way that it makes me feel to be able to help somebody, increase the quality of their health, build their confidence up, it really makes me feel good. And for those of you who are used to coming to my my Twitch streams, the D Muscle TV channel, or Initial D, whatever you want to associate me with, probably can testify too. Like the vibe that I try to give off is an inspiring vibe. It's a vibe where I want to build people up. I want people to learn something. I have a gift of speech. I've been told I have the gift of gab, which means I'm really good with my words and I can think real quick. I'm not perfect with that, but if you put me on the spot, I can almost, answer just about whatever question comes my way in the most intelligent way that I possibly can. But oh yeah, how could I forget? I got 3 Rugrats. I'm a dad. Oldest son, 16. Down the line, it's 9 and 7. The 7-year-old runs my blood pressure up. And the 16-year-old has me on edge. I've just taken his phone on Sunday because I see booty cheeks. That's all I'm gonna say about that. That's all I'm gonna say. We're going through that phase. We're going through that phase.
Not the booty cheeks.
I see booty cheeks. All I saw was Santa Claus hat and booty cheeks. That's all I saw. I'm like, oh my God. Bro. Yeah. So we're going through that right now, that phase of life.
Oh,
we're going through that phase of life. So I can't say that I haven't been there. My approach is a little bit different. So he had better be glad he has a dad who walks by the spirit, but who has also done some things in the flesh, if you know what I'm saying. So
yeah,
crafty shaking my head. She can't do nothing but shake her head, bro. This is what happened. When I saw it, I said, look at what your son's looking at. This is what shit. I went like this. I showed her the phone. She looked at it. She said, she's like a split second. She's like, talk to him.
Bruh.
Talk to him.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, that's me. That's my life in a nutshell. I don't do a lot of exciting things. I would like to travel more if time permits it, if finances permit it. With a family of 5, it's hard to move.
Yeah.
You know, people who don't have kids, I don't know how many of you in the chat don't have children, or if you do have kids. If you don't have kids, that's a blessing because you get to move whenever you want, however you want. But if you do have kids, that's also a blessing too. You just got to be a little strategic. You know what I'm saying when it comes to how you do things.
Yep. So Carlos has a question. Could you please expand a little on that non-denominational part? I take it means not associated to Catholic or other names.
Non-denominational, at least to my knowledge, is more so. It's like the church that really doesn't call itself like like a Baptist church or apostolic church or what is it? Presbyterian church, Protestant, Lutheran, stuff like that. Those type of denominations. Those are what you call denominations. Like we don't call ourselves any of those because we kind of feel like when you do that, you're trying to like separate yourself from other churches or whatever. When we're of the belief that we're just the body of Christ at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's not like when you die and go to heaven, okay, the angel Gabriel, all right, Protestants.
Catholics over here.
Protestants, you line up here, Baptists over there, Catholics down that way, next to Mary. No, that's not going to be like that. And, you know, our church also is really, really big on culture as well. So we have all different type of people that come to our church, black people, white people, Hispanic people, Asian people, exactly the way heaven's going to look. Okay. So that's just the diversity. I think that's what attracted us the most is that we looked around. I'm like, this is like beautiful right here. This is how it should be. It's not segregated. You know, I was once told Sunday is like the most segregated day of the week is what I was told. And when I thought about that, I was like, you're right. See, some of these churches, all black churches, all white churches, all Hispanic churches. I mean, go wherever you're comfortable. Right. I'm just saying. But what message does that really send? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that say? When if that's now, no offense to nobody out there, if that's, you know, if you go to a church like that, but that's just not what we do. We don't rock like that. So, but it's no offense.
Yeah, right. Because I can tell you, you know, my experience growing up.
Appreciate you, Carlos.
my my family, and then my best friend and his family, we were like the only two black families at our church. It was predominantly white. But I mean, we all knew each other. We all grew close together. Um, and then of course there was an all black church not too far up the road from where we were. Um, and then when I moved to where I am now, we're all kind of mixed. So um, it's definitely a thing of go where you want to go, go where you feel comfortable at,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, and that's just us. We have I had the conversation this morning with somebody, that the woman that actually gave us the invitation a couple years ago to go where we go now. We went in between churches. We went here, we went there, and we just wasn't feeling it. Like down here in Florida, we're called. I don't know if it's from Florida, Alabama, or Texas. I'm not sure, but we're considered to be in what we call the Bible Belt.
Bible Belt.
The Bible
Mhm.
Belt, which is basically states that have an astronomical amount of churches, and the Christian faith is pretty much dominant down this way. And it's just truth though. Everywhere you turn, you got a church over there, a church down there, over down the street.
Mhm.
One thing I learned growing up is that every church ain't the same. And it's
Right.
true. I mean, I done been to
Yeah.
some, bro, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I done been to some churches, I fell asleep because it was boring. I've seen churches be judgmental. And that's the complete opposite of what it's supposed to be. Like, that's what actually pushes people out of the door.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
I
saying? Like
agree.
people come to church because they need help. Like they don't need you judging them and beating them up. Why are you wearing that? Why are you looking like that? Just so. But that we don't
Yeah.
get that. We don't get that at ours. We come as we are, and we're just a big family at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Let me see. Carlos says, I see. Wonder if there's non-denominational churches over here. It should be, Carlos. It should be. I mean, look it up. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Carlos is in the Dominican Republic. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that um I think Catholicism is dominant over there. I think.
Mhm.
I'm not sure. I think so. Honestly, only churches I haven't visited are Mormon and Judaic
Messianic.
Orthodox. Oh Lord, man, we're gonna have to have a whole episode about that.
Yeah.
Man, I don't mind. I don't mind talking about that. I
Me
really
either.
don't.
Yeah.
But I want to get heavy tonight. But there's a lot of things I gotta say about different denominations. Again,
Mhm.
no judgment whatsoever. Because to me, I just believe the Bible. I try to follow as an example and treat people with love. And that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. I don't care about what race you are, your gender, what you do in your own spare time. I'm called to love, not judge.
Yep.
That's how I feel. What part of Florida are
Agreed.
you in? I'm in a city called Pensacola. It is in the Panhandle. Florida's kind of shaped like a gun. We we're like in the part that looks like a barrel of the gun, like the end of the gun. We like right there on the border of Alabama. That's where we are right there.
Oh, one other thing that we didn't mention, chat, and most of y'all know it, but me and D actually met each other.
Yeah. Yes, we did. You want to tell them about that? Facts, Carlos.
Sure.
It's coming, Carlos. I'll make a note of it.
Oh yeah. We gonna have some real talk on that one.
We got a lot
Some
of
real talk.
we got a lot of topics that we've already talked about that we think all of you are really gonna enjoy. So we'll make a note of
Yes.
that.
Yes. So normally every year, ever since me and Miss Bearded started dating, We tend to take birthday trips. Last For her birthday, I took her to Memphis to see the Civil Rights Museum. We went to the Martin Luther King Museum and everything. Um, and then this year, we ended up for my birthday. We ended up going to. We plan on going to Gulf Shores, and we ended up staying in Foley, Alabama. Well, I was like, you know what? Foley's really not that far from Pensacola, so let me hit D up and see if he and Crafty want to meet up uh, while I'm down there. So I hit him up, and he's like, "Yeah, man, just keep us updated." Blase, blase. So we get down there. We set a day, and we ended up meeting each other in Pensacola at one of their malls, and kind of chopped it up. We went to dinner. We were there for a good bit, just talking, having us a good time. I mean, I'm like him, man. He could definitely agree with it. We didn't want to end at all. We did not want it to end. So,
No, we didn't.
um, that's how we really met, and it was a fun time. So, guys, I will put this on the table. I will put my hand on the Bible and be honest with y'all. If you want to, I would highly encourage meeting your Twitch friends. If you live in the same state or live close, I definitely encourage y'all to meet each other because you never know what friendship you will get out of it. You never know how
Absolutely.
close. Yeah, you'll never know how close you will be to someone once you finally meet. And I can definitely attest that me and D are definitely close.
Yeah. And you would think like, some people may think it may be a little awkward, meeting people that you met on Twitch or just the internet in general. Because we have been talking, the four of us, we have been talking for quite some time, well over a year, almost 2 years nearly. And, when we met, it was like back in August, it was so natural and so organic. You know what I'm saying? And he's right. Like, the conversation was awesome. Meeting your fiance, it felt like we had known y'all forever, truth be
Mm-hmm.
told. And he's right.
Yeah.
Like, we really didn't want it to end. I was sad. Like, I was legit sad. Like, I was like, man, yeah, they gotta go. You don't have to leave. But that's a beautiful thing. It is. And just like he said, I recommend it if you can to meet your Twitch friends. Try your best to, if you're close, that is, if you're close. Because I know that, um, in the summertime, we're going to be hitting up DreamCon. And quite a few people that we know live in Texas. And I can't wait. D Sassy, you're in Texas. Queen Shar's in
Char.
Texas. And Bear Project and Flash will also be there as well. So I can't wait, and that'll be our first time meeting Bear
Me
and
too.
Flash Carter as well. So I can't wait because, like I said, we
Oh
talk.
yeah.
We talk every single day. We know we know stuff about each other that other people probably won't ever know, and that's because
Mhm.
that's the beauty of a friendship. And I hope you all out there have some sort of friendship in which you cherish like that. And who would have thought that it would come from Twitch? You
Yep.
know, who would have thought it would have came from Twitch? So you can say what you want about Twitch, but look, I think it depends on the who the person is, who the content creator
Yep.
is.
Right.
What are the
Yep.
intentions? Are you sure you want to make friends? Are you sure you want to make connections, or you have some sort of like ulterior motives behind the scenes? Because there's people out there that do that too. But
Right.
the four of us, I couldn't have been more blessed to meet more realer guys. I just couldn't. That's why, like, hey, that's it. Like, there ain't gonna be no fifth wheel. No fifth edition. We're good.
Yep. That is it.
Yes, we're excited to see y'all too. Yeah, we can't wait, D
Oh yeah,
Sassy.
it's gonna be fun, D. It's
Yeah,
gonna be really
I
fun.
can't wait. Yeah, and Cam says she's in Georgia. Georgia, I think she said about 3 hours away. That's not far. Yo, if you close, let me know. If we love ATL, so if we're in the area, let me know. I always tell people, like, if I'm in a city, I'll put it out on Twitter or something like that. I'm like, hey, who lives in New York? Who lives in Boston? Who lives in Mississippi? Let's link up. Let's meet up.
Link up.
If I were to meet D,
That's-
I'm gonna hug him real hard. If I were to meet T, I will hug him less hard. D can take it. Yeah, Carlos, you like give us that bear hug.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm a hugger. I'm a hugger. I am.
Oh yeah.
I love
Oh
the
yeah.
hugs. I love the hugs, man. Real talk. Um, so let's talk a little bit about life. All right. So, life updates. Like, what's new with you? What's going on in your life, like that you want to share with everybody here?
Well, I mentioned it earlier, and everybody in the chat, you kind of already know. I'm recently engaged. Me and Miss Bearded have been together for 2 years. Um, and I actually proposed to her 2 days before our anniversary because our anniversary was on the 13th, and I had to work that day, so I wasn't gonna be able to take off. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it the weekend I go see her. And that's, I mean, really and truly, that's probably really it. That's really the main update. We're still streaming, still selling cars. Just trying to do the best I can, and keep pushing. Have we set a date yet?
I was
We
gonna ask that
have
question
not.
too.
We have not. We actually haven't. We actually haven't decided if we're going to do just the justice of peace or if we're going to do like an engagement party. Just to kind of save money a little bit. Because one thing that I'm trying to do right now, I'm trying to see if I can find a house, like a townhouse or something like that. I've been in my apartment for going on 4 years since I moved here, and rent is steadily going up. And I'm like, if I'm gonna pay this every month, I would rather do it on a house. So that's what I'm in the process of doing right now. So we shall see how it goes.
Yeah, it seems like I got clients that are realtors, and with this subject comes up often. And I'm sure you all in the chat can relate too, as far as like the cost of living is ridiculous. Like rent is so high. Like you're not gonna find a place under $1,000. You're
Hmm.
just not, and especially like a 1 bedroom, and then anything more than that, you're gonna be north of like $1,300 and up, depending on where you live, and it sucks. It makes it very difficult to take care of yourself, especially if you work one job. I think those days are
Yeah.
over with because we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. Like we were talking
Hmm.
about, multiplying incomes and stuff like that. So these are the type of things we talk about. We talk about how we can excel in life because, excuse me, because I don't want to see nobody struggling. I
Right.
don't want to see anybody I care about struggling. And if there's something that I can do or say to, spark some sort of initiative to get people to get in a better position, then I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm see where you can where I am at, but I'm also the jobs here don't pay a whole lot. Yeah, that's the thing. I remember they did this thing where they raised up minimum wage. I think a
Hmm.
couple years ago, but
Yep.
nobody knew that everything else was gonna go up too. So it's like, what was the point?
Right. Right. Yeah. Because I mean it's kind of an issue here in Mississippi as far as jobs. I mean they're kind of scarce, or they're here but they just don't pay a lot. Um, because I mean, and I'll throw an example out. So I have 2 degrees. I have my bachelor's in business administration. So that's very broad degree. I can do anything business related. Car business, insurance, real estate, HR, which I've used my business degree.
Mm.
But I also have a master's degree in healthcare admin. So in that sense, I can run my own clinic, run my own hospital, administrative work uh, uh, for a hospital. But the issue is they want you to have the experience or they want you to have the RN degree in order to be considered in a position. So it's like, how can you expect people to excel in what they do if you won't give them a chance? Because you never know what this person is. This person could be a hard worker
Mm-hmm.
and they can learn quick, but you just won't consider them because they don't have the experience.
How do you get the experience? You know what I'm saying? Like how
Right.
you can have it's like I hate to say it, it's like you damn if you do, you damn if you don't. You
Right.
got your degree.
D&D.
Yeah, you got your degree. You went through your schooling and you're applying yourself because you think you qualify for this position and now they say, well, you need X amount of experience. So I'm like, well, who's going to take the initiative to give me an opportunity
Yep.
to gain that experience? Like I think the days of people taking a chance on folks is over with.
It's over. It's definitely over with.
Yeah, unless you
'Cause-
know somebody. Like it was I remember my grandfather told me, "What's up, Queen? I see you. She getting ready for that return stream. She getting ready over
Yeah.
there.
Turn
I
up.
hope you didn't forget how to hit go live, by the way." My grandfather told me years ago, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know.
Who you know. Yep.
Right? And I've known so many people who are like bosses, executives, managers who don't got no business in that position. But the only reason they're in that position is because of who they knew prior to that got them in the door. I've seen people refused who actually deserved the position and people approved who don't
Something
know
else. Jack
anything from
squat.
nothing. So I'm like, what the heck?
Yep.
So yeah, sometimes it's about who you know and not what you know.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you. My career, like I said, I've been in it for 13 years. This coming July, and I got my break from a friend of mine she was a personal trainer. She talked to she said we need some help at where we are, and she talked to the director. She was like, I know a guy. Talk about me. Um, how old was I? I was about maybe 24 around the time. So I know a guy. He's real good. He's very passionate, etc. So if it wasn't for her telling him that, knowing the type of personality he has, he probably wouldn't have gave me a chance.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was about who I knew, and because of that, I've gained all the experience I have now today. So you know,
Yeah.
that makes me even more of a believer of it is about who you know.
Who
But
you
I don't
know.
want
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want anybody to get discouraged about that though,
Yeah.
because
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, don't look at it like, well, what's the point in going to college? What's the point in getting a degree? There's always a point
Right.
because you're
Right.
gonna be able to use that at some point. Trust me. Um, who you know is not always gonna be able to get you in the door.
I can attest to that. I can definitely attest to that. My aunt, she was the director of nursing at one of the local hospitals, and me and her had been talking. She had put my name out there to the CEO, just come talk to him and everything. And of course, he never got back to me. So
Hmm.
it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. But again, you can't get discouraged about it. You know, I've been in the car business for 8 years, going on 9. So trust me, and Panda, she can tell you. I love what I do. I love selling cars. It's fun meeting new people. But sometimes you want to venture out, which is what I did. So after I got my master's, I went on and helped open up a hotel, and then I worked at Walmart in HR. I just felt like it wasn't for me. Um, well, I take it back. I felt like Walmart was not for me. I love working at the hotel.
Walmart.
Because I guess for me, I have the personality of customer service. So anything with that entails customer service, I'm okay with. Hence is why I'm back at the dealership. Um, but I think another thing, and actually me and Miss Beardy was talking about this, is I think that's why a lot of people leave where they live and go elsewhere
Hmm.
because there's more opportunities for jobs. There. But at the same time, you also got to consider the cost of living.
Yeah, there's that. You can't just up and leave. Oh, look, opportunity in Texas, and you go to Texas, and wow,
Rent's
yeah,
like $1,500.
right, yeah. Um, I gotta respect people who don't let that scare them, though.
hmm
Right? They just say, you know what, I know I'm taking a chance, but I'm gonna go anyway. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, and they end up having to come
Takes a
back.
while. Right,
So
right.
I just don't have that type of faith to where I can just go and be okay
Right.
with just completely dismissing the possibilities of me not making it because I
hmm
don't want to fail.
Right.
I don't want to fail. I don't like that. I don't want to fail. Anything that I do, if I feel like I can't be successful at it, then I'm not going to do it. If I feel like I can't make it somewhere, I'm not going to go. I got to have some level of confidence
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
just up and leave. That's why I told you the job in Chicago. I could have took it, but the cost of living is too much.
Yeah.
I wanted to move my family into a nice part of Chicago. It's very expensive. Like I didn't want them to be around all of the craziness, like the shootings and stuff
hmm
that go down. And
Yeah.
I didn't want to be around none of that stuff. I'm not trying to live in the hood,
Yeah.
So I wanted to live in an upstanding neighborhood, and it's
hmm
very expensive, much like it is everywhere. The
Yeah. Yeah.
nicer the area, the more
All
expensive it
right.
is.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
And I think that's why me and you mesh so well because what you just said is kind of how I feel. Like I'm the type of person I gotta have a plan before I do anything. Like I just can't go because I feel like if I do that and things get hard, it's just gonna mess me up. And I would rather have a plan set forth and then execute that plan once I have all my ducks in a row.
Right.
That was
See.
your problem, Walmart. Touche, Carlos. Touche. Touche.
Well, I don't think I gave a life update. So,
Nope. Your
I
turn.
I mean, I talk about this stuff all the time with you guys, and it's nothing that you don't know or bear or flash. So I've been busy. I mean, well, what else is new? I've been busy. Um, I just have like this vision, I guess you can say,
hmm
that I want my family to be in, and in order to do that, I gotta make sacrifices. One of those sacrifices has been content creation itself, live streaming. So I have not streamed on Twitch since December the 7th. And
But
if
you
you,
did that charity
yeah,
stream.
if y'all remember, it was that charity stream, and it was a successful one. We raised up almost about $300. It was
Mm.
all for the greater good to help out those families, those children. Because if it's one thing that breaks my heart, is when I see kids, not knowing where the next meal is gonna come from, or families striving but they just can't make ends meet. I'm not rich, but if I could do something to help, I'm gonna do it. And it was an honor to use my platform for that. Um, Initially, I didn't plan on like taking this long off. I was gonna come back to streaming the beginning of the year. I had thought about it and everything. I had did new overlays, starting soon screens. I had been talking to people about like who make music and stuff like that. I even had some music made.
Mhm.
Um, it was only played once or twice on my stream because I only streamed like twice in December. So I did all of that stuff, and then I just started thinking like, where am I going with Twitch? Like, what do I truly want with this? And I've always told people like, my goal was never to be a large streamer. It was never to be a large streamer. Um, I just want to have fun, just want to meet people, and that's it. And I always told myself that this would never come before family, and it'll never come before work. I've made that mistake back in 2021, and I didn't make that mistake last year. So work and everything was definitely a priority, and streaming was not that big of a priority last year. In fact, I looked at my what is it, the Twitch wrap up? Yeah, all of us got
Mhm.
that. I think
Yeah.
I streamed less than 50 times in 2022. Somewhere between 30 and 50 times, which is not a lot at all.
Yeah.
Especially in like a calendar month, like a monthly spread.
Mhm.
Like let's just say you stream 3 days out of the week for a month. That's like 3, 6, and 12 live streams right there. So yeah, it wasn't a lot. So that kind of told me where my priorities were as well. So I find it difficult for me to figure out when I want to actually come back on Twitch again because I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to be able to do this. Like, I have things that I have to do, like work, my kids' academics. I'm pretty active with that too. Me and Crafty both have just started becoming more active in our church by choice because we wanted to. We didn't want that experience of just going to church on Sunday and then leaving and then doing whatever throughout the week. Like we wanted to get involved. We want to make connections. We want to make more friends there. Like I said, we've only been there for a little bit over a year. There's a lot of people there that we don't know. So, we both decided to commit to going to a marriage group on Wednesday nights. And I go to an all men's group on Tuesday nights, which is it's a group called Freedom. And
Mhm.
I can talk a little bit more about that at some other time, but I really, really like it a lot. So when you factor that in and you factor in just having personal time to yourself, it's hard to figure out where I'm going to be able to put Twitch. And again, I'm the type of person where if I can't do something at full capacity, I'm not really motivated to do it. So as
Yeah.
much as I would like to do it, I don't I don't know how I'll be able to do it. Crafty's made the suggestion. She's like, why don't you just do it on the weekend? I could, I could, but Saturdays and Sundays is also a day where I can do a lot of things with my kids too.
Yeah.
So that's important to me. But streaming, I mean, 2, 3 hours out of the day is not terrible. So, I mean, I'm not done by any means. I just need to figure out, how I'm going to do it, when I'm going to do it before I just put it out there as far as like when I'm going to come back. But
Right.
life is itself is not bad. It's actually really good right now. There's a lot of positive that's going on in not just my life, but in Crafty's life as well. Our marriage, like we're really, really close. People they don't know that because I'm a private person. Like I'm not gonna like put my business out there. Like some people don't mind doing that, but um, one thing about this podcast is I wanted to be transparent about some stuff. Like me and my wife, we're real close. That's my best friend right there. She's streaming because I stream. She makes content because I make content. Her own way though. So everything that we do, we try to do together. Like we work out together. We hang out. We laugh together. All we just that's my wife. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's my best friend. So we do what we do together. But we do have our moments where we have to come apart too, which is another conversation that we had. And I'm telling you this because, pretty soon you're about to be a husband. We had the conversation that there has to be time periods where we are apart because there was a time where, Crafty, she might be here. She don't mind. There's a time where we were spending a little bit too much time together. And when you spend too much time together, we don't get anything done. Like, she has a lot of work she has to do right now. Like, she's probably doing that as we speak. She's got like 17 orders she has to make. So I can't afford to like be all up under her. She can't afford to be all up under me. And there's got to be points and times like, look, I had to make time to do this. So all of these things going on makes it really hard for me to do things like stream on Twitch. But when I say I miss it, I really do. I truly do. And I will be back. Probably, I may just go ahead and just watch the rest of this month, since we are almost in the middle, and probably come back in the beginning of February.
You heard it here first, folks. First part of February.
Yeah. And if you weren't here, you wouldn't know that because this is an exclusive platform right here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I forgot to mention another life update. If y'all are wondering what's on my arms, for anybody that's new in the chat,
what's up, Shandy? Good to see you.
What's up, Shandy? You know what? I gotta hit her with it. What's happening? But if you guys can see what's on my arms, I am type 1 diabetic. Been diabetic. Actually, February 1st will be 5 years. So,
wow.
Just kind of a life update. I actually had my appointment, my doctor's appointment this past Tuesday. And normally what they do is they'll get my blood. Sometimes they'll, do a little urine work. Just to kind of read where my average sugar is, what my A1C is, which is average of 3 months of my glucose rather, and got a really good report. My A1C was 6.3, which is actually is lower than what it was 3 months ago, and my average sugar was 134. So that was a really good thing for me because I actually went almost a whole year without these things on me just because of my insurance. Not me my deductible yet, so it was very very expensive. So for me to be where I was and to get it back down, that was definitely an amazing thing. Now I'm working to get it back down where I originally had it 2 years ago, which was like 5. So, but other than that, if y'all know anybody that has diabetes and just want to talk to somebody, tell them to come talk to me. Just tell them to hit me up because, I think everybody in the world needs to have a. If any of y'all seen South Park, everybody has to have an accountability buddy.
Yeah.
So, and I don't mind. I don't mind talking to people. I was actually when I first got diagnosed and the way my progress went, I actually became a mentor um for a young man over in Louisiana, and he and we still close. We still talk. He's about as white as I am. I mean, country as I am. Sorry. But we still talk, and we mentor each other, and we're pretty close. So, yeah,
that's what's up. Shindy says healthcare costs in this country it is a shame. It's horrible.
Facts.
Hospital costs, ambulance costs. It's almost like they want you to die.
Right.
It's almost like they want you to die. Like, why does it cost so much to just treat somebody?
Yeah. And I'm sure this is gonna be a whole nother episode
Yeah.
where you guys get to hear my story,
Yeah.
and everything. But I mean, with type 1, there is no cure at all. So if you can't afford insulin, it's inevitable. And I'm just being honest with you. If you cannot afford the insulin to help yourself, live longer, because that's all it's really doing is helping you
Yeah.
live a little longer and things like that. It's inevitable. So
I hate that. I'm gonna tell you something. You said something on our first podcast, and maybe you
oh
remember.
yeah,
Maybe you remember
yeah, I
what you
do.
said. I
I
hate
do.
it. He said, and then he said it just like this with this attitude too. He was like, it's gonna be what kills me. I'm like, stop! Don't say that. Don't say that because I was thinking about that not long ago. I was like, man. So it's like this man, and then there's other people too that deal with this that literally depend on insulin to live. It's almost like your oxygen. I'll say,
hmm
and I just hate how they make you all hop through fiery rings of fire, adversity, and stuff like that just to get that. Like, it's ridiculous to me. Like, yeah, again, the subject of pharmaceutical business industry, big pharma, as we'll say, I'ma say it, big pharma. We're gonna talk about that at some point. We really are, but I hate it. But I do gotta ask you, without you having to, go through the story. But let me ask you a question about that. Do you
hmm
feel like since, being diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, do you feel like that humbled you, or did it change your outlook on life? Does it contribute to who you are? Is what I'm trying to say.
Um, I would say it does. It has played a big part in it. Um, I've always been this way. Just goofy, love life type thing. But I would definitely say it has humbled me. Because I think like everybody in probably you as well and everybody in chat, I'm pretty sure that we all thought we were invincible at some point.
Yeah.
And then, when it happened, I was like, bruh, okay. I might have to slow down a little bit. But you know, I every time I think about it, I always go back to the word. Um Go back to James chapter 1 verse 2. Consider it pure joy when you go through trials and tribulations. So, that's kind of how I look at things. So even in the midst of troubles and even in the midst of strife, I'm still gonna hold my head high. I'm gonna still be the person that I was called to be, and just keep living life.
That's very strong because I've always told you that, you have this aura of just joy. Like, some people think that joy and happiness are like the same thing, and it's not. It's really not. And, bringing up the scripture, of course, definitely, fits. It goes in alignment with your attitude. So that tells me that you're applying it to your life. It's like with me, I was having a really rough week earlier this week, and Crafty, she'll tell you this too because she does the same thing. We love to listen to worship music. If we're alone, if we're feeling some type of way, and the scriptures, it tells us, count it all joy No matter what you're going through, worship and praise, and you be like, man, I don't feel like worshiping right now. Pissed off, man. Do you see my life? I'm not about to sing. What do I have to be happy about? So that's how I looked at it. I'm like, this is not helping me right now. But look, it does. It does. Because when I do it, man, I forget about everything. And I have this joy and I have this peace. I'm like, wow. I almost hate getting out the car. When I reach my destination, I'll be listening to my song. You know, the worship songs be like 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Because they be playing the chorus over and over and over. And you just in the spirit. You're like, man, I gotta get out the car and deal with these people now. So,
yeah.
but then you've forgotten about what it is you were dealing with. And that is where the scriptures come in, and it says that he gives us a peace that surpasses all human understanding. It's a peace that people, who don't follow God will never understand. But it's also that peace that we have a responsibility of tapping into and displaying so that they can see it and want to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why like I said earlier, I try to lead by example and not by force. So, see, there's more money for treatment than the cure. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, Shindy, I believe that there's a cure for everything. I don't feel like there's anything that's on this earth that does not have a reversible component to it. Like I feel like there's a cure for AIDS, a cure for cancer, a cure for herpes. There's a cure for everything. They say is not irreversible. It's just there's just way too much money involved in treatment than the cure. Because think about it, treatment is not cure. Treatment is like a band-aid. It keeps you going. Cure means you are healed completely. Right. So the old saying is, they got to keep you sick to keep making money. Got to keep you sick. Mm-hmm. I remember some years ago I was reading this article, and I don't know how y'all feel about conspiracies and stuff like that, but I'm pretty heavy into that stuff. I do, man. I go down the rabbit hole. I don't know when to get out. Like, it's not as bad as it used to be. Because Crafty, she used to be like, man, look, you pay attention to everything, like the numbers on stuff, the symbols and stuff. She's like, can you please stop trying to look too deep into stuff? But
he trying to find the gates to the Illuminati,
bro. Yeah, I am, man. I'm trying to find out what's going on, man. I'm trying to find that portal. I'm trying to find that portal that people say that. Yeah, that's a whole nother subject. But there was an article I read where there were doctors that were getting murdered who discovered like the cure for stuff. Right? They discovered the cure. You know what I'm saying? And I believe it because they wanted to come forward. These were honest doctors that said, I discovered the cure for such and such. And in their heads, they're like, they think that people are going to be excited about that. So I'm like, bro, they're not going to be excited about this because you're messing with their money. So you have a cure for cancer. So they get taken out, for fear of losing billions of dollars. And it kind of makes sense. I said I wasn't really gonna talk much about video games and stuff, but the video games like there's a game called I'll use one we all know, Resident Evil. For instance, Resident Evil, they created the T virus, which is a bio, they call it biohazard in Japan, or biological weapon is what it is. And there's a cure out there, but they make it seem like there's no cure. So they hold the cure in a particular person's hands for billions and billions of dollars and stuff like that. But they let this disease run rampant and all this chaos and stuff. It all comes back down to money at the end of the day. It's always back to money. And what does the word say? Money is the root. It ain't evil, but it's the roots
Mm-hmm.
of all evil.
Yep.
Carlos says, my kids have been singing hymns for a while now. I prefer that them singing some of the most popular songs most of the youth are listening to. Oh gosh, the music these days, first of all, I don't even understand it. Like verbally, I don't understand it. It's mumble. Like it all sounds the same. It's weird to me. I want to vote, I want to vote. Come in your house and knock you and vote. Taking no money and I'm going to vote. What you know? That's what it sounds like. Now, like, what is this? What is this? Like every rapper does that now.
Hey,
Every
y'all
rapper.
heard them bars? Y'all heard them bars over there?
Dude, every rapper does that. So I'm like, I said, I can't do this, man. Y'all are on your own with this. So I said, let's pray for that generation.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all we can do. That's all we can do.
Right.
So I thought about an icebreaker question.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, those of you in the chat, you know, we definitely we appreciate your participation, and just you being here is it's just a blessing. We really, really appreciate it. So if you want to participate in this right here, so bars, I may have to start thinking of bars every time we do a podcast, Shandy. Just open it up with some mumble rap, right?
I'm gonna come in with the ad libs.
Yeah, I know, right? Drop the beat. Feel free to interact with this question, but I thought about this as I was sitting right here at my desk. So I'm gonna ask you, bro. Do you feel like you were properly prepared to take on life? Like at your age, just think back, you know, adolescent years, teenage years, early 20s. Do you think you were prepared for what you're dealing with right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, both my parents, you know, they got married. They you know, they were in debt and things like that. And you know, when they found Christ, you know, my best friend, his family, they were having Bible studies together. And so my parents, and I'm sure you've heard of Dave Ramsey, Financial Peace University.
Yeah.
They are big advocates. My family and my best friend's family, huge advocates of that. So I took the class at a young age. So, you know, I know about the whole budgeting, you know, check and balance your checkbook, all that, all those different types of things. Obviously, just like any father would do, teach you how to work on cars, all that good stuff. And even in teaching me how to do those things, you know, they also brought it back to this is what you're gonna have to deal with in your adulthood. So this is why we're teaching you this because we didn't have anybody to teach us. So we're teaching you. So when you go out on your own, you'll be able to apply the knowledge that we've taught you. Now, have I kept up with it? Honestly, no. You know, I've you know, just like most people, they kind of tend to get away and want to do their own thing. But you know, when it comes to um when it comes to still knowing that stuff, I still know it. You know, so it's a matter of fact of me applying it, going
Right.
back to the basics,
Yeah.
getting back to where I once was. Um, because I'll be honest with you, when I was living in my hometown, you know, obviously, I was by myself. I was in an apartment with my bro, and you know, we were both doing the same thing. You know, we were you know, saving money because rent was split and all that good
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
But once you get on your own, it's a
Different
whole
story.
nother ball game.
Gosh.
And
Yeah.
you really have to be disciplined with your finances.
Yeah.
And once I moved to where I am now, I wasn't as disciplined. because I was like, all right, I'm getting whatever I want. It's my money. I make the money. I want to treat myself,
Yeah.
even though I still know I got other stuff I got to take care of. You know, it's it's definitely a journey. But I will say that I was prepared going into adulthood. But I know I would definitely have to focus a little more, a little harder once I, take that leap of, well, once I take that say I do basically,
Right.
because now you're not one, you're two, but you're one, so you
Yeah.
definitely have to work together. So I
Exactly.
think, and my parents, they are really, again, loving to death. They really have taught me how a man should go. Um, Especially being a child of God, being the head of the household, being the decision maker, um, or what else? You know, knowing how to fix things so you don't have to call on somebody.
Right.
Um, so yeah.
Okay. Uh, Carlos is mostly because, well, curveballs life have been thrown. Oh, you said I don't think I was ready as I thought.
'Cause
Mostly because curveballs in life were thrown. Heck, I've been hitting them balls, thankfully, at
all
least
right,
to get to first base.
there you go. There you go, Carlos. I was actually gonna say something because my buddy and D and Cam and Panda. There's some other people in here that may know him, but C Hub, he's another Twitch streamer, actually from Mississippi. He and I met. If y'all saw that on Twitter last year, he had said something along those lines, Carlos, and I replied. I was like, "Hey, eventually you gonna connect with one of those curveballs, and you gonna knock it out the park." So, you know, I'll tell you the same thing, Carlos. Just keep swinging. That's all you can do. Keep swinging. One of these days it's gonna connect, and you're gonna be like, boom.
Yeah, I could definitely relate to that, Carlos. So, my answer to that question is, different than Thad's here's question. I mean, answer to that question. See, for me, I don't feel like I was prepared properly for life. Um, I guess you could say, I was raised by like old people, pretty much, like my great grandparents.
Hmm.
Like I said, my mom, she had me in a really really young age. Her parents were working, and the only people that were available to really care for me were, my great grandparents. So,
Right.
without getting too deep into that, just know that my upbringing was through them. Pretty sheltered life, I'd say, when I was at a really young age. It wasn't a lot of information that was passed on to me. It wasn't a lot of knowledge. And this is not, and don't get me wrong, this is not me like speaking ill of my family, but
Hmm.
if I'm gonna be 100% honest, like, uh, there just really wasn't much passed down to me in terms of being able to learn the essentials when it comes to not even just being a man, but just surviving life in general. It just wasn't there. Um, I remember, gosh, man, this is a really, really long time ago, and the same can be said on Crafty's end too. She kind of grew up in the same situation. She grew up in a home that did not really prepare her for life. So a lot of what we know is on a day to day, month to month, weekly, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly type of experience field, because we weren't really taught anything. Like, and I'm
Yeah.
just keeping it real. Like, we weren't taught nothing about like credit, nothing about finances, nothing about anything that you need to know to take care of yourself. It was just coming up at home, playing, having dinner, going to school. There were never any real deep conversations at all, and now that I'm older, I think my mom, she looks back on that now and, there's some regret, but by the grace of God, of course, I've had the privilege of, just running into people throughout my life that poured into me and that taught
Mm-hmm.
me a lot of what I know today. And I still feel like I'm learning as we speak. There are things I don't know, but if it's one thing about me, if I don't know something, I'm gonna ask a question.
Yeah.
If I could say if nothing else, my grandmother taught me, if you have a question, ask it. So that applies to everything in life. So, and that's, we're not even talking about like parenthood.
Mm-hmm.
That this is a conversation that me and Bear have all the time because he has a son, and I talk to him about fatherhood and things that they need to look forward to, but all while still learning as I go, because that's also something else that really wasn't taught to me.
Mm-hmm.
How to be a proper father, how to nurture to the child, and it just wasn't there. It wasn't, and I know that that's a reality for a whole lot of people, and some people use that as an excuse to be a particular way, but that's not me. You see, the way that I am, or the way that we are, me and Crafty, are more so like your parents taking the initiative to teach our kids the things that we weren't taught. And that is one of our biggest goals. One of our biggest goals is to ensure that this generation, like our kids, excels ours out like tenfold, because they're gonna know everything that they need to know. Like, I had a conversation with my son, my oldest son, on Sunday, actually, after we found all that stuff out, and I was giving him a haircut, and he was just asking me all these different questions. Because I told him a while back, I said, if you ever need to talk to me about something, just come to me and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. No judgment, and I'm going to be 100% real with you. And we did that. We talked about that type of stuff. Whatever he wanted to talk about, whatever question he had, I tried to answer the question the best that I possibly could to give him that confidence, because he's going to need it when he's grown. He's going to need it. Because I didn't have that invitation growing up. Like, I felt like if I talked about something, it was always wrong, or
Yeah.
it was shut down. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it just wasn't, certain things just weren't on the table. So I'm like, dang, man, like, that doesn't make it go away. That
Yeah.
doesn't make me forget about it. I still need to know an answer to these questions that I have, because I'm looking around. I'm like, dang, man, why do I feel like something's missing? And
Right.
I still, at 37 years old, I still feel like that something's missing, and I'm constantly like trying to figure out what that is. Now, I personally feel like I have a good head on my shoulders. I do my research. I keep faith, which is, God has helped me through so much, so much. Like I say, brought great people into my life, giving me great opportunities, helped me discover my purpose. There's some people that still, they don't even know why the heck they're on earth right now. So I've been able to discover that. And again, to prepare, I don't think a person can ever be too ready for
Yeah.
life, because you
Yeah.
never
I
know. Like
agree.
Carlos says, you never know what life is going to throw at you.
Mm-hmm.
Everything could be fine today, and your world's just turned upside down tomorrow. How are you going to handle
Prime
that?
example.
Yeah.
Prime example.
Right. How are you going to, what's the response going to be? How are you going to handle that? How are you going to react? Some people react with emotions. Some people react with rationale. Some people don't know how to react at all. And they just succumb to the fact of whatever it is they're dealing with. So, which is why, I mean, I'm gonna talk about faith all the time, and I'm pretty sure everybody here, because if it wasn't for God, I don't think I don't know how I would get through life. To be honest with you,
Right.
I don't know, because
If you don't know, you're gonna learn today.
you're gonna learn. That's where my peace comes from. That's where my wisdom comes from. Everyone always, asks me that, like, why are you the way that you are? I'm like, it's God. It ain't me. It's not me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, and it's a perfect example. Like, if you go through, like, from Genesis all the way through the Bible, God uses imperfect people, just people that got problems, people that might not be perfect, or that are not perfect. There's always he always likes to use the flawed. He always likes to use those that people don't look for, so to speak, or just count out. Those are the ones he chooses for his glory, and I kind of feel like that's what he does with me. Because there's some things about me that some people don't know, that when I get comfortable enough, I'll open up and talk about, that I don't even know how I'm in the position I'm in. To be honest with you, I don't. Other than being obedient and just letting him lead and trusting the process.
Yep.
No.
Gotta trust the process.
Yeah. So, but I don't have any. I feel good though. I feel great. I'm happy. I have a family, beautiful family that I love very, very much. My kids are my world. My wife, she's my best friend. Like I've said, I everything I have, I probably technically should not have, based on the upbringing. So that's how I can. That's why I know that my faith has carried me to the pathway that I'm on right now. So Carlos says, my dad could have taught me some stuff regarding money management if he hadn't been busy going through learning it himself. He did teach me later in my family when my family had started, that I could have used earlier, but I see and understand why it didn't happen. They were too busy ensuring I had experience according to my growing up age. Taking care of learning how to manage monetary issues. Right now, they're at a place where if it's an emergency comes up, me and my siblings can't manage that. They can support us with cold heads and advice. Yeah, everyone's upbringing is different. My mom, we had a conversation some months back, and she was just like talking about her parents. She said, my parents, they know things that they just didn't pass along. Like, my grandfather is an intelligent man, and he owns property, like lots of property, but has never, ever had a conversation about what that looks like, or what that feels like, or what it takes to be in that position. He's never had that conversation with my mom. He's never had that conversation with me or my brothers. I have 2 brothers, men that are carrying on the family name, but he keeps that information to himself. And my mom was like, she felt deprived, and she's like, I don't want to leave this earth without leaving something with my children. Whether it be, an inheritance, or whether it be an inheritance, whether it's financial, or an inheritance, whether it's wisdom and knowledge, so that they can carry on later. Because when you really think about this, and I know it may be kind of hard if you don't have kids, but even if you don't have kids, it makes sense. You should be teaching your kids how to survive and carry on your name. Because if you don't, and you neglect that, guess what? The potential of it dying out could be right there. And if they do have kids and they don't have that knowledge that you could have given them, maybe it might die out with that generation.
Right.
Because I know people that have like they're wealthy, and some people get mad about that. Like, well, you can't really get mad about that because their family was responsible.
Yeah.
They did things the way that they were supposed to do things. They kept it in the family. You know what I'm saying? And some of us, you know, we weren't fortunate enough to be in that position. So it's not a Crimea River situation. There's nothing I can do about it other than correct it and make sure that my kids don't have this problem. And because like, installing all three of their heads, like when you guys have children of your own, promise me that you will do what I'm doing with you guys, but better. Do it better. Like always duplicate it, but do it a little bit better. And keep passing it on so we can keep this family even when I'm long and gone. You know, they can look back and say, you know, Grandpa D Muscle, you know, started with him. Started with, you know, Grandma Crafty, started with her. These two that took a stand. These two that made a difference. And it's because of them. So to say the least, no, I wasn't prepared for life. But I'm living it. And just like Carlos, you know, curveballs come my way. I move out the way, hit a couple, and just keep it going. But if it's one thing I'm not going to do is make excuses.
Agreed. All excuses are going to do is just really make you not want to do it anymore.
Yeah. And you know, we can't live life like that. Yeah. Right? We really can't. I mean, life is, I'm sure you understand, if anybody, life is unpredictable. It's unpredictable. It's almost scary, but we all have to go through it. All of us, you know, some people, well, I know one thing. Nobody gets through life without being touched.
Yeah.
Nobody. All of us are going to go through something at some point. Some people are a little bit more severe than others, but we all go through stuff. Carlos says around 2018, I decided to have a sit down with my grandparents to learn at least their story from the points of view. Sadly, I was only able to record one conversation with one of them. I really wish that my folks would do that. Like, I wish they would like talk about the past, but they don't like to do that. They don't like to do that, you know. I mean, they're my grandparents they're getting up in age to where they're starting to. I think they're starting to think about it a little bit more. Like, oh, we getting old and we're not in the best health. Yeah. So I know that I'm going to visit them in about a week or two. With my mom, and my mom's like, you know, I want you to talk to your grandparents. You know, just have a conversation with them and see where it goes. So I'm keeping hope alive. You never know what they may have something they want to tell me or something they want to pass down. It's not too late. It's never too late.
It's never too late.
You know, it's never too late to make things right. You know, as long as you're breathing and you're alive, it's just never too late. Yeah. Well, man, it's 10 o'clock right now. I know originally we said that we initially said we wanted to make the podcast like between an hour and 30 to 2 hours. Yeah. I kind of figured that the intro one was, you know, wasn't going to be super long.
Hello.
I don't know, man. We like an hour and 43 minutes in. I mean, it's almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is
time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies, and I enjoy this. I do.
I did. Yes. And we appreciate each and every one of y'all that's hung out.
Yeah, like real talking is real. I'm gonna try. I mean, well, I'll talk to you later about it. But yeah, we got topics, folks. We got quite a few topics that we think that all of you are gonna really enjoy as far as like engaging with and just talking amongst each other, etc. We're gonna put up. Can you clip? You can clip on YouTube. I think you can clip.
Yes.
Okay, you can clip on YouTube, and we'll try to put some content up on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that, so all of y'all can, for those of you who didn't see it or those who didn't see it who wanted to be here, that they can check it out too. So, but just like that here said, I appreciate all of you for coming over. Like I said, Carlos, Shindy, D, all of you to come from Twitch over to YouTube just shows that y'all are not viewers, y'all are friends. That's what friends do right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what friends do. Y'all don't have to do it, but you do, and we appreciate it. Yeah, most definitely, man. Any last words, brother, before we sign out for the night?
Yeah. Only 4. Only got 4 words. They're very important words now. So make sure you put your ear to the screen so you can listen to it. Okay. Okay. 4 words. Catch vibes. Not feeling.
There you go, and there you have it. There you have it. Don't know if that's something on my family or the country itself, but we have a lot of stories. I would love to hear some of them stories, Carlos. You got to hit me up, man. Hit me up on Discord or something like that, and I would love to talk to you about that. Absolutely. But well, we about to sign out.
Yep.
We appreciate y'all, and we will put our next date on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and Discord and all that stuff to let y'all know when the next episode will be. Like I said, originally we talked about doing this every other week, but you never know how things are gonna work out, right? You never know.
Right.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see y'all next time.
Yes, sir.